Hello everyone, welcome back. So you may have come across functions that have an argument that has an asterisk. And you may be wondering what that means. So in this video, I'm going to go over that concept, and I have a function that I'm calling it the flexi function, and it only has one argument, and that argument has an asterisk. It's called asterisk args. That's the name of the variable args, but it has an asterisk next to it, and that's the most important thing. You may have other names, an asterisk, n, asterisk, variable name, other names, but the most important thing, again, is that there is an asterisk associated with it. So what does that mean? So what it means is when you call the function, you may call the function entering a multiple number, one or many more, one or more than one, number of parameters, number of arguments, and those arguments are separated by a comma. So it's similar to the print function. When you say print and you put a word like hello and then comma and then a variable, and the variable may be the name of the person you're saying hello to. So those are two parameters you're sending. Hello is a string, and then n, which is the name of a person, two parameters. And you may have another string coming up after that. And you use print in multiple ways, but you just never know how many parameters you're sending to print, and they are separated by a comma. That's just one example. So in this example, similarly, I'm going to be sending some arguments to this function. And then I'm just going to demonstrate it by handling in the body of the function. I'm going to have a for loop, which is going to extract the values or the parameters or arguments that I received. And I have this for loop, and the for loop is going to iterate through this variable args, in this case args, and you can call it anything you want in your programs. When you write your own programs, you don't have to call it args. It just so happens that args is the most common name for this type of variable. Again, you can call it anything you want. So args becomes like a list of the parameters that I sent, and I'm going to go through this loop, and this is just an example. It's a classical example. I'm going to go through this loop where I'm going to extract one by one the parameters that I sent, and I'm going to print them. I'm going to print them one at a time so that I know what I sent. Then I'm going to show you some examples of that. So the first thing that I'm going to do, is I'm going to run this code from here to here, the def code, so that my computer learns about this function. Right now it doesn't know about it, so let's run that. There it is. So if I look at my list of functions up in the upper right hand corner, I can see the flexi function is there, and it's a function. Now let's run it. So in the first example, I'm just going to point to line 250, and I'm going to run line 250. So let me give you some space here, and I'm going to clean up my console. I'm going to run it, and I'm going to send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different parameters. All right, 8 different parameters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to run it, and when the program runs, it's going to either iterate through the args, and it's going to pull one by one. If it was another function doing this, it may be doing something special with those parameters that I just sent. But the point that I want to make here is that this is a flexible number of parameters, because then I'm going to show it to you again after this, but this time I'm only going to send 3 parameters in the second time. 3 parameters. All right. But let's do the first example that has line 250 that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parameters. So I point to my line 250, and in Spider, I can run the current line. I click in there, and it runs, and it goes through this loop, the loop that I was just showing, that I spoke about before, this loop right here, and it pulls each of those parameters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it prints the value of the parameters: 2, foo, CEIS110, 3.14, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. So now let's run the next one so that you can see the difference. And it's the same function, right? The same flexi function with args in it. It's just only one item in the parameters, but it has this asterisk. So I'm going to run it here. I point to line 251 and I run line 251. And this time it only got 3 parameters: 35, Billy, Shears. So I can run it again with a different number of parameters, and it's just going to take as many parameters that I sent. So this is a special type of function, and I call it the flexi function. It has a flexible number of parameters. In the next video, I'm going to do something similar where you have a flexible number of parameters, but the difference there is each parameter is going to have a name and a value, name, value. So it's going to go in pairs. I'll talk to you then. Take care. Bye-bye.